Alright, hello everybody. This is Mr. Alberto 23. Today I'm going to be explaining the FF1 door clip tutorial. This is different from FF2. So this is the, the trip where you get caught by the moblins and then you go up to the top and there's this guy that you grapple. Otherwise there's a cutscene here. Get the sword. And sword is required for this. And we're going to clip into this door in order to perform pause storage. Now this is much harder than the other one. Let me go ahead and demonstrate why. So, if I show you, okay, so they're out of bounds, is in FF2, there's a door, like underneath the door, but there is none here. See, there's none. Usually there's a door right there, like a little door that has collision. That's important because when we do this item slide clip, the way clips work in this game is that if you have positive speed going down a slope, which the slope is faced actually up in this direction, like you see if I do this, I lose height because this is the bottom part of the slope and that's the top part. So we're gonna have positive speed facing this way. For this specific clip. You could also do it for negative speed facing this way, but that's not what we're going to do. And that's important, actually. You have to do it this way. So you're going to be facing this way. It's really going to be like this way. And when that happens at a specific speed, he's going to go under the ground, underneath this door. And then he's going to move with all of his speed. He has enough speed that he's going to reach over here. So this is where he's going to go towards, or actually kind of like right here. Because he's actually getting the same height as the staircase. Whatever part of the staircase he's moving towards, and that's with his speed angle, that will determine how much height he clips at. So he needs to go to about right here, so he's under the ground over there. Maybe kind of like right here. But he will end up here. Actually, he'll kind of get stopped by this and end up here, because his head will hit this part right here. He'll end up here unless you roll. So we have to roll on the frame of clipping. Otherwise, yeah. So anyway, FF2 door clip, you don't have to do that because the door stops you. But in this case, there is no door, so the only way to stop yourself is with a frame-perfect roll to kill your speed. And that also gives you the necessary height to jump back up to the ground and end up in the door. Alright, so let's go ahead and start beginning. This trick is pretty complicated, so I'm going to go into the ins and outs of how this trick works. So step 1, get into this corner. Now the best way I like to do it is item slide with negative speed, and then kind of go right here. And then now you can get an angle, and then you can press A to cancel and pull grapple again. You can also backwalk, but I find backwalking annoying. You have to go kind of like down right. Anyway, get the dot bobbing up and down, and then the angle I'd like to aim at is the dot. The left side of the dot is touching this black line. This is not super precise. You can aim really anywhere, but I really warn against aiming too far left. You want to aim as far as possible, and I'll show what happens. Why can't you just infinitely aim right or up? You want to be getting a weird shot for this. When you're item sliding, you're holding down immediately after charging backwards, so it's like hold down, pause, hold up, ESS, very quickly switch to down. If you switch too early, you just lose all your speed. Like this. Like that. See, I lost all my speed because I had less than 45 units of speed before I hit down to convert to positive. So you want to do it just after 50 units of speed. See that dot? That bounce? That's what we're looking for. That nice little bounce. Down, up for the dot. That's called a weird shot. That is a visual cue for getting the correct amount of speed. We're aiming for about 3,000 to 3,500 units of speed. The clip happens at 21,000 units of speed. Sorry, 2100. So we're going to be gaining past clipping speed, and then we're going to be setting up the trick while we're losing speed before he clips, before he reaches correct speed. So basically, it's you charge backwards, you hold down, and then right after the dot comes up, you hit target. See how I got 3,500 units of speed? That's good. Because it's like just you're reacting to the dot coming back up, and target. See. It's kind of, you kind of just get a feel for it. If you got too little speed, this will happen. Where when you're going for it, you'll see Link weird shot. It doesn't look, see how he's kind of just dipping like this? Like you see his feet are under the ground? That means you failed. The way you know you got it is that when he hits the correct speed, he'll dip twice. That's the visual cue. Because what we're going to do is we're going to get speed and we're going to turn left. That double dip, that tells you you got it. So that's your visual cue, so you know you did. Okay, so what is the problem with aiming too far right or too far left? If you aim too far right, you don't get a weird shot. So look, no weird shot. Okay, let's say I aim too far left. You will get a weird shot. But when I go for the trick, when I get correct speed and he double dips, he will likely clip in place. That didn't happen that time. I'm trying to show clipping in place. Let me see if I can get it. Like that. See how he just lost all the speed? That kills the trick. Because he went so far under the ground that he clipped in place. So, that's why I like to aim right here. This is like a happy medium. Now, you can still clip in place, but it's extremely rare. It's maybe like a 1 in 30, 1 in 40 chance, is my guess, for clipping in place when doing door clip if you aim right here. So that the left side of the dot is touching this black line. All right, so get speed. What's the next step? Next step is getting back into the corner, because when you press target, you'll go over here. So you want to just move him down. And then I like to release target and press target again. The reason is that it'll look weird. It'll look like, see, like this, the camera is moving around like crazy. If you release target, press target again, it'll center again. And then it'll fix itself. I pause buffer that. You don't have to pause buffer it. You can do this. Just try it. Be careful of snapback on the controller. That's why I like pausing anytime I'm releasing a stick. That's why I pause. Okay, press target again. Now, and while releasing the stick too. So, because you don't want to hold the stick direction while you're untargeted, otherwise you just turn. You don't want to turn, you want to keep that face angle the entire time. Face angle is pretty important. Alright, so we go over here. What we want to do is go like this, where you swing out on the door frame, then swing back, like, so you're swinging out. So we're swinging out this way. Then we very slowly turn the stick until he's very slowly moving into the corner like this. So you want him moving basically as close to the angle of this. You want him at the same angle as this door frame, but you want him in the corner. So that's why you just kind of just shift very slowly. See how he's very slowly moving to the corner? That's good. Now I have too much speed, so I'm just going to give myself speed. Let's give myself 3,500. How about that? Set speed. Whoa. Okay, I didn't think I was gonna move that way. Alright. Please give myself speed. Okay. So, move out from here, move back in. Okay, good. Now, we're gonna set up camera angle. So, the last part of this trick, I'm just going to be explaining... Okay, how do I gotta get rid of this stuff. Okay. The last part of this trick is... And give myself more... Let's do 2,500 units of speed. Set speed. Alright. The last part of the trick is going to be when he gets correct speed, which is double dip. He dips twice. That's another dip. You're going to be holding a stick angle relative to a camera angle. And what you're looking for... I'll show you. Okay, that actually failed. That was a bad example, but I'm going to go over it in just a second. Try to do this again. Just set my speed at 2,500. Okay. Let's do this again. Okay, so I'm going to fetch all these, because I'm going to be showing... I can actually replicate this. I want him to go here. Yep, this is good. So that actually worked. I didn't press A to roll, because I just wanted to demonstrate what the clip looks like. This is a successful clip. I did everything right, and I clipped at the correct height, and you actually go here. Now, I can actually replicate that, so I'm just going to show that. I'm going to set all of my values again. I'm going to store that. Set angle. Set speed angle, set speed. See, I can actually replicate this by just putting the values back into the hacker. So, that I just did with a speed angle of 57942. I believe... I'm trying to remember... I'm trying to remember what direction I need to move that in. So speed angle is lower in this direction and higher in this direction. Okay, cool. So let me show what happens if I give myself too low of a speed angle. By that I mean, your speed angle is what direction Link moves in when he clips. He moved to here. However, if I decrease my speed angle, he'll go over here when I clip. If I increase my speed angle, he'll go over here when I clip. Now, speed angle is determined by your camera angle and your stick value. I'll go over all that in just a second. But I'm just explaining how the clip works. So let's say I give myself, so I have 57942. Let me give myself 57500. And I'm assuming that's not going to work. I'm assuming this is going to fail because of that. I'm trying to make it fail. So set my speed angle, set my speed. Yep, see that? So he just clipped in place. Now I showed you clip in place earlier. What causes clip in place? That's your speed angle too far to the right. So I tried to get Link to go to maybe this part of the stairs, which is higher, and he didn't have enough height to go under the ground completely, so he just kind of popped in place. You can also have it where he hits the door frame and then just falls. So there's part of the ground, there's part where the door extends slightly under the ground, and that's also possible where you just fall all the way down. And that is also because you did not aim this too far enough left. So let's go ahead and keep aiming it more left. So let's do 5850. 585. Wait, hold on. I think it's 58500. I don't remember. Oh, I crashed my hacker. Hold on, let me do this again. I couldn't remember what my speed angle was. Hold on. Okay, let's fetch all these again. Detach data viewer. Hold on. Let you see my speed again. Apologize about that. Alright, so I fetched all my values. 58210. Okay, this one still worked. 58210. I just need to go a little bit higher with my values. So let's try again. 58500. Set speed angle, set speed. Alright, so that one actually failed. And you saw, it worked eventually, but I went way down the stairs at the end. So I didn't actually clip on the frame that I gave myself 500 units of speed. He clips later. That's important because if you aim your speed angle too far left, you may think, oh, that's good, he'll just clip lower, right? Well, no, because it will take him more frames to clip. He'll clip on a later frame of turning. When normally he clips in 3 frames, all of this that I just gave you is 3 frames, but any far left, it's worse. So, how do we guarantee that our speed angle is correct? As I mentioned, it's camera angle and stick angle. So let me give you one example of values. And then that also lets you troubleshoot. So like, let's say your camera angle is too far left, you might just roll. When you do the roll, he won't actually clip ever because you're doing the roll too early because he's clipping on a later frame. Versus if your angle is too far right, he'll just hop in place. Let me show it one more time. Hopping in place. 57900, I believe, hops in place. And nope, not that one. That actually worked. 57900. Let's do 57700. Set angle, set speed angles. But I didn't set my angle. Set angle, please. There we go. There you go. Like that. That means your camera angle, so this camera angle that we're setting up was too far right, or your camera angle was fine, but your stick angle was too high, right? Because it's both. It's the relation of the stick to the camera. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to explain a setup to hopefully make sure that you get the 3 frame turnarounds and you don't clip in place. So it basically guarantees the clip works. Well, let me go ahead and show you. So let me store all. Now let's store all my values. Let's do 3,000 units of speed. All right. So the camera angle is right here. This is what I like to set up. Actually, this is too far right. I kind of like right here. All right. So how do I know that this is the right camera angle? For one, there's a tiny gap between, if you see that third heart at the top of the screen, on the top left, there's a tiny gap between that and this dark line, like the right edge of this dark line right here. That's if you're not holding target. But you want to hold target during this because if you don't hold target, you lose speed slower and the clip takes longer to do. So definitely make sure you're holding target. You just want to release target after you get the correct amount of speed. So, now if you're holding target, if you may see, this corner right here is on the bottom, lined up exactly with the bottom edge of the screen. And you want to make sure the camera is always zoomed out. Don't forget that. So let's show this again. Set all these values. And then set up this camera angle. Oh gosh. Right here. Something like this. This is probably too low speed now, so unfortunately this would fail. I think 1800 is too low. Like this. Alright, so we have the correct camera angle, we have the correct speed, we dipped twice, we released target, we're not holding the stick or anything. Now let's set up the stick angle. And this is one of the last steps. So you could set up the stick angle in this screen, however it's inconsistent. Because what we're going to be doing is moving the cursor, then slowly moving the cursor until moving the stick. Sorry, like I say, I hold down. I keep moving left until the cursor moves. You could do it in this, but it's inconsistent. Sometimes the cursor won't move. I'm trying to show an example. Sometimes. Yeah, I'm having trouble showing it. Yeah, anyway, it's random. And maybe like 1 in 10 tries, but the cursor will actually just fail to scroll. So, instead, we go into this menu, the right menu. It's actually consistent in this menu. You can open up this menu before the trick, or you can open it during the trick, or you can, on the gamepad screen, switch twice, and then when you press A, it'll just go into this screen. But just be careful. Well, it's just annoying. If you're in this screen, sometimes the game will fail to unpause during item slides, or during the trick. But it's not really a huge deal. Anyway, hold down left. Then, very slowly switch the stick clockwise, or is that counter? That's counterclockwise, until the cursor scrolls. When that happens, you should have a Y value about -119. Then all you do is unpause, and then you're going to roll. But just do it without the roll first. Just a few times. Make sure it looks like this. Like I said, make sure he's not hopping in place. Make sure that he is not going way down here. Make sure he's going right here. Or he can go just a little bit right of it. If he does, or a little bit to the left of it. See, it's like left of it. He'll end up on the stairs here. But he won't be like super duper low on the stairs. But really optimally right here. So he ends up right here. You did it right. You got the clip. Okay, so let's say you've done all of that and you're ready to try to get the roll in place. The roll to kill your speed. Actually, I can just set my values. Okay, so let's say you got the camera angle, you got the stick angle, you're getting the clip a bunch. It's working every time. Okay, let's add in the roll. So what you want to do is you want to unpause while holding this angle. And you want to press AB. And it has to be 3 frames after unpausing. So that is an example of if I press them late. So I pressed A late, so it happened after I clipped. If you press A early, let me see if I can go back. Go back here, set all my values. Get the angle again. Alright. Let's get the stick angle again. That is an example of pressing A early. So I rolled in place. Now, it is pressing A early. However, if you had a camera angle way too far left or stick angle way too far left, it could be you got a 4-frame clip and you roll and you did press A on the correct frame, but because you clipped on a later frame, you pressed A before you clipped. All right, let's see if I can get a good one. Alright, so that's an example of a good one. So there you go. This time it worked. Now, why do you press B after A? Why is that important? Because it is possible that since we're going at this angle, he can jump out of the door frame, and the B press actually saves it. The B press makes sure that you land in the door frame when you clip it. So it kind of saves it. So anyway, that's basically it for FF1 door clip. Once you've done it, you can move on to FF1 pause storage, which skips the cutscene, skips part of the cutscene. And yeah, hopefully that helps. Hopefully the troubleshooting helps. If you have any questions, definitely ask in the leave a comment, send me a message. If there's something maybe I missed, just let me know. That's it. Thank you.